Friends, I'm 12 minutes late. Forgive me. Tonight's topic, if you're out there, outlaws. Outlaws in art, outcast. Outlaws to society. Scumbags, villainy. Mavericks, weirdos, creeps, freaks. Let's do it. Let's do it. Anybody out there, get at me in the chat. Get out me in the chat. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Outlaws. Oh, I lost my one viewer. Damn, I'm sorry. Our first person to talk about Phineas Taylor Barnum, P.T. Barnum, P.T. Barnum, Pete, an American showman, politician, and businessman, remembered for promoting celebrated hoaxes. P.T. Barnum, our first outcast and genius. I did not know he was the mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's awesome. He's an American showman, promoted celebrated hoaxes, and known for the founding of the Barnum and Bailey Circus, 1871 to 2017. Wow. They made it to 2017. Remember, he's the man that gave us "There is a Sucker Born Every Minute." P.T. Barnum. Barnum's Grand Scientific and Musical Theater. The ultimate mega super carny. P.T. Barnum. There's a sucker born every minute. Son of an innkeeper and a tailor. Again, I didn't know he was out of Connecticut. Ultimate showman. He had Sister Minnie and Tom Thumb. He had albinos, giants, little people, jugglers, magicians, exotic women, detailed models of cities and famous battles, and a menagerie of animals. He had a little person known as General Tom Thumb. He met Queen Victoria. The ultimate mega carny. Diversified leisure time activities. Is anybody a fan of P.T. Barnum? There's a sucker born every minute. His curiosities. The Siamese twins. The circus king. He himself was a debunker. And yet he was a bunker. Full of bunkum. He married a Charlotte Hanelet, had 4 children. He died in 1891, Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's buried in, apparently. He served 2 terms as a politician. There is a sucker born every minute. Confidence tricksters. He was not he gave it on the ultimate showman. A sucker born every minute, but indeed he gave us a good time. Anybody out there? Join me. Hungry Joe, confidence man, also said that. Anybody know the Cardiff Giant? The Cardiff Giant hoax? They brought out a giant skeleton of a giant. Charged people money to see it. It was complete fraud. The Cardiff Giant. Look it up. All right, our next guy on the list. This is bizarre. Kerry Thornley. Kerry Wendell Thornley died in 1998. Anybody ever hear of him? Kerry Wendell Thornley. Thornley. He was the co-founder, along with childhood friend Greg Hill, of Discordiism. I'm fairly acquainted, or I've made a video, and I've talked to him a few times via the internet. Adam Gorightly is an expert in Discordianism. He did a book on Kerry Thornley. He's done another one on Manson and another one on James Shelby Downard. Lord Omar. Discordianism is bizarre. He had an anarchy type of thinking, form of Buddhism, neo-paganism, Robert Levy's freedoms, the Church of the Subgenius. Anybody familiar with that? The Subgenius. Thornley completed The Idle Warriors, which has the historical distinction of being the only book written about Lee Harvey Oswald before the Kennedy assassination in 1963. Yes, there's a bizarre connection between this gentleman and the Kennedy assassination. Bizarre. January 1968, New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison, certain as New Orleans-based conspiracy to assassinate John F. Kennedy, subpoenaed Thornley to appear before a grand jury, questioning him about his relationship with Oswald and his knowledge of other figures Garrison believed to be connected to the assassination. Thornley sought a cancellation of this subpoena, on which he had to appear before the general court. Garrison charged Thornley with perjury, after Thornley denied that he had been in contact with Oswald in any manner since 1959. The perjury charge was eventually dropped by Garrison's successor, Harry Connick Sr. Harry Connick Sr. Harry Connick Sr. is the father of Harry Connick Jr., the jazz guy. Holy shit. It's bizarre. Thornley actually knew Oswald before the assassination and wrote a book about him. His Discordian thing is very bizarre. The Subgenius thing is very bizarre. Anybody, come on, everybody, jump on. Crap. Zenarchy. He was raised a Mormon. In adulthood, carry shift ideological focus. Okay, so we went over P.T. Barnum, and now Kerry Thornley, the man that wrote about Oswald before the JFK assassination. So weird. In fact, let me get him in here. Okay. Let me put him. Kerry Wendell Thornley, an American author. Absolutely bizarre. Bizarre, bizarre, bizarre. We're live streaming talking about Kerry Thornley. Anybody know this guy? All right, this is weird. Tonight we're getting into weirdness. No, it won't take all that. How about, okay. Maybe it'll take part of it. Okay. This is so complex. I'm cutting and pasting part of Thornley in here, okay? The Idle Warriors. Oh, I'm losing people. Kerry Thornley. So we've got P.T. Barnum, Kerry Thornley. We're going over bizarre people. Bizarre. Sorry. Do you know that actor Bob Crane? We're now going to go to Bob Crane. Bob Crane. Bob Crane. You may have seen it in reruns, the old show Hogan's Heroes. Bob Edward Crane. He was Hogan. Died from homicide. An American actor, drummer, radio personality, and disc jockey. Known for starring in the CBS situation comedy Hogan Heroes. Where is everybody? I was so late. Shit. Let's try again tomorrow night. After Hogan's Heroes ended, Crane's career declined. He became frustrated with the few roles he was offered and began performing in dinner theater. There was a movie about him. Now, while on tour in June 1978 for a dinner theater production, Beginner's Luck, Crane was found bludgeoned to death in his Scottsdale, Arizona apartment, the victim of a homicide. The murder remains officially unsolved due to suspicious nature of the death and posthumous revolution about his personal life. Crane, previously uncontroversial public image, suffered. He was so friendly looking. Hogan's Heroes. The Scottsdale Police Department, which was small at the time, had no homicide division, was ill-equipped to handle such a high-profile murder investigation. The crime scene revealed few clues. Let me get this man's name up here. Okay, we're talking now about Bob Crane. Hogan, he lived at apartment 132A. Bob Crane. Bob Crane, tragic murder. Unsolved. Was he killed by the Zodiac Killer? His father, wow. Greg Kinnear played him. Greg Kinnear played him in the movie. They pointed out that Crane had been videotaped and photographed in compromising sexual positions with numerous women, implying that any of them fearing blackmail might have been the killer. Other potential suspects posed by defense attorneys include angry husbands and boyfriends of the woman and an actor who had sworn vengeance after a violent argument with Crane in Texas several months earlier. Nobody got a dime out of the murder except for one person. Unsolved. Wow. Let me get a link in our thing here. Tragic unsolved murder. Explore Entertainment. I can't vouch for the validity of this, but Hogan is dead. Hogan was killed in 1978. Anybody out there? Actor Bob Crane. Killed. Actor Bob Crane. On the afternoon of June 29, Crane's co-star Victoria Ann Barry entered his apartment after he failed to show up for a lunch meeting and discovered the body. Crane had been bludgeoned with a weapon that was never identified. Patty Duke was his friend. John Aston, Carol Connor. I think that's Mr. Archie Bunker. Tonight's Star Show sucks, I guess. We're going over outlaw personages. Next up, we have Man Ray. I'll try to keep this rated PG. Man Ray was an American visual artist who spent most of his career in Paris. He was a significant contributor to the Dada and Surrealist movements. Man Ray. He considered himself a painter, but he's best known for photography. Dada and Surrealism. Sometimes I like it, but you can't argue that it looks like a bunch of shit. It's absolutely, looks pretty shitty. Modern art. It's not quite the toilets. But, yeah, I don't know. I love it sometimes, but then sometimes it looks like paper mache crap. Kinetic art. Dada. Salvador Dali and Man Ray are surrealist. I don't know, it's very strange. I like it sometimes and I don't. While living in New York City, Man Ray was influenced by avant-garde practices in Europe, contemporary artists. Cubism. Yes, he befriended Marcel Duchamp. I think he's the one who did the toilet, yeah. The fountain, which is a urinal. People smoking, paper mache heads. Come on, somebody jump in the show. 7:30. Maybe we'll do better later in the week. Apologize, I was late. He had a relationship with the Guadalupean dancer and model, Adrian Fidelin. Maverick and outlaw. We're talking about outlaws and strange personages. Man Ray. Hey, Elizabeth is on. Sorry I was late. We're talking about outlaw personages tonight. We've done P.T. Barnum. We did Kerry Thornley, who was a very strange man who invented something called Discordianism. He also wrote about Lee Harvey Oswald even before the JFK assassination. You may have heard of strange things like the subgenius. Discordianism is a strange religion, kind of like chaos magic stuff, I guess, of which the cathedrals are bowling alleys. Subgenius is a strange organization, almost kind of parallel to the Harvard Lampoon in a way, sort of. The Subgenius group is a group of absurdists. It's all in the mix. Robert Anton Wilson, the Subgenius. Kerry Thornley. Man Ray. I think his real name is Emmanuel Radognevsky or something. Then we talked about actor Bob Crane. Bob Crane. Bob Crane. Was murdered. Scottsdale, Arizona. Found with a lot of weird pictures of ladies. They did a movie with Greg Kinnear. We also talked about P.T. Barnum, the ultimate Carney supermaster. The dictum that we get from him, the saying that is very valuable is, quote unquote, there's a sucker born every minute. And boy, I need to remember that every day, my friends. Then we went over Man Ray. Who was a big component in the data movements. Yes, get some scotch. I don't know how long I'll be on, but have a scotch. It's an art movement of European avant-garde in the early 20th century. Zurich, Switzerland, at the Cabaret Voltaire. In New York, data began circa 1915, after data flourished in Paris. It expressed nonsense, irrationality, anti-bourgeoisie protest, radical left-wing and left-wing politics. I don't know about the Michel Decamp's toilet urinal thing. It is anti-art, perhaps. It's something that you send your son and daughter to college to study and for total waste of money, and yet sound cool. They don't even have anything like that now. It's not even, they don't even fake it now. It's like video games and Pornhub. At least the hot college kids used to bullshit with data and hang Man Ray and, you know, whatever, Salvador Dali pictures. Michel Ducamp used to become Rose Silvere. It was a pseudonym. Is that, I don't know. He transitioned from art to chess. I'm all over the place tonight. Totally sorry. We'll talk about Man Ray. Strange. Outlaw. I have to admit that I'm not a huge fan of the next outlaw person, Andreas Serrano. He did do the Jesus in the P. Piss Christ. I don't know about that. It was sponsored by the National Endowment for the Arts. I have a degree and I wrote about Piss Christ. I don't know about that. Jesus loved us. Come on. I don't know how good it is either. Put the cross. I think that's probably opening the door for Ludrus War. Sorry, he's the next guy, though. In case you want to look at that, it's Andres, last name Serrano, and it's Piss Christ. I'll jump off of that one. I don't know about that. It's shock art. I have a list of total screwballs that I wrote down. I'm not good. Oh. The next person that I have as an outlaw artist, avant-garde person is... That's all right, BB. It's all right, you're late. Yay, you guys are friends now. Awesome. Everybody jump in here. That's all right. I was late, too. We're talking about outlaws and persons that had crazy things happen to them. Bob Crane, the actor, could have been too much into kinky sex, and he was killed in Scottsdale, Arizona. He was Hogan's hero. Kerry Thornley was a strange guy, a creator of a sort of philosophy, religion, absurdist thing called Discordianism, which is kind of associated with the Church of Subgenius. Church of the Subgenius. Giving you tons of crap to waste your life with tonight. Kerry Thornley knew and wrote about Lee Harvey Oswald before the JFK assassination, by the way. Discordianism is a strange religion. It's absurdist. I didn't know you guys knew each other. That's awesome. And P.T. Barnum, a sucker is born every minute. These are the outlaws who've gone forward. And Man Ray with his Dada movement. Next one is I actually kind of like. Outlaw artist, crazy man, Buddy. Last name Giovinazzo. Is a filmmaker and an author. Oh, good. I'm glad. It's good to know each other through here. Our next person is Buddy. Giovinazzo. Filmmaker. You can see his incredibly bizarre film, Combat Shock, on Prime. He went to college in Staten Island and graduated with a master's in cinema. His brother Rick is a composer and the star of his premiere film, Combat Shock. His cousin is television film actor Carmen Giovinazzo. Combat Shock, I think, is his best film. That movie is an ordeal, since he was affected by Agent Orange in Vietnam. Sorry. Loud sounds. He was affected by Agent Orange and is little baby becomes sort of a creature who will whine through the entire film. The baby's a mutant. Probably, yeah. And it's an incredibly depressing film. Budget was only $40,000. Calls his father, who believes he died in Saigon. His father doesn't help him with some money. He has hallucinations all through it. And it's one of the most depressing, strange movies that I've ever seen. But what they did with $40,000, incredible. One of the most disturbing aspects, the soundtrack. It's an exploitation war drama film. It does a great job of also showing the depravity of urban life and crime and losing your grip on sanity. Anybody ever seen it? I think it's still on Prime. They don't really help them at the unemployment office, too. Buddy Giovenzo. He wrote a book, Life is Hot in Cracktown. Oh, no, that's another movie. Sorry. 2009. Life is Hot in Cracktown. Yeah. I don't know. I just invented that outlaw thing tonight. I don't really have it. I guess that you just completely over the top, you know, not acceptable in society. Strange. You know, Lester Bangs, Queen magazine. You know, you might be a murderer or a pervert. Or, it's not necessarily good or noble. Buddy Giovenzo, I think, is a good guy. Actually. Life is Hot in Cracktown. I've never seen that. It's got Lara Flynn Boyle in it, though. She's in Twin Peaks. Sorry, BB. I didn't really sign that. I don't know, like Datism. Somebody who came up with the movements, outside the fringe of society. I'm also talking about con men and evil people and bullshit artists. I mean, Howard Stern would be one. Quentin Tarantino, Kurt Cobain, Andy Kaufman. John Podesta. John Podesta. The Pizza Hut. I was going to say the Pizza Hut guy. Shit, yeah. Or that other lady we were talking about last night. Woo. What's it? Marina Abramovich. Yeah, I'm talking about Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Okay. But Hunter S. Thompson's a good guy, but he would be an outlaw of society. D.D. Ramone of the Ramones. Johnny Thunders, the obscene rocker. Mick Foley, the wrestler. The guy that used to jump on his head. Ken Kesey, the LSD guy, the Merry Pranksters. Definitely Richard Pryor would be an outlaw to me. Allen Ginsberg is obscene. I'm not a fan, but he's an outlaw. Ted Bundy, of course, is because he's a serial killer. Jim Jones, of course. Andy Kaufman. Oh yeah, Charles Bukowski, without question, is an outlaw artist. Definitely. Definitely. Have you seen Barfly? Oh yeah, we got to do a serial killer thing. Definitely. Definitely. R. Crumb, the guy who drew giant ladies who would beat him up and he'd make out with them, whatever. Terrence McKenna with his DMT and Machine Elves. Oh yeah, everybody has a Charles Bukowski poetry book with his obscene stuff, and they have a Jim Morrison book. And most, if you go on a date with most women, they'll tell you that Lenny Kravitz is sexy, and that Jim Morrison's a poet, and they also have a Charles Bukowski book. I have noticed that. It is strange. Okay, Ace Frehley, maybe. Okay. Kiss. Yeah, Kiss. 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 The pornographic guy, John Holmes. Yeah, John Lennon. Yeah, I would think so. Not only is he, but also the guy who shot him would be an outlaw. Not an artist, but a shithead. But definitely a conspiracy individual indeed. Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary. Chuck Palahniuk of Fight Club, the author. He's fringy, even though he got success. David Lynch, Eraserhead, and Twin Peaks. He's fringy, but successful. Oh, I have a guy I want to look up here. Okay, more obscure. Charles Lund. I had notes on these guys, but I forget. Charles Lund. Let's see. Charles Ludman, American actor and playwright director. What did he do? Oh, he's a comic. Well, I guess he was an actor, and he was one of the early people who suffered from AIDS. Why did I have a note on this guy? Well, he looks weird. All right. Leary was the godfather of LSD and the tune-in dropout movement. He was arrested for it. His movement, his thought that the world would be saved by LSD. I think you're talking about the guy who synthesized it in Switzerland. Yeah, exactly right. Let's get him up right now. Timothy Francis Leary. He was in a group of people, Allen Ginsberg and all these. Yeah, he was from Harvard. He was a Harvard professor. I forgot that. He did the Concord prison experiment. His friend was Richard Albert, who became known as Ram Dass. Richard Nixon once described Leary as the most dangerous man in America. He's an absolute dickhead. He was an only child. That explains it. Yeah. He got fired from Harvard, man. He was fired for missing scheduled lectures, while Abbott was dismissed for allegedly giving psilocybin. He's definitely a godfather of the counterculture movement. LSD. Tune in and drop out. This is all in the background of the Vietnam War. Robert Anton Wilson is a favorite of mine. Yeah, I tend to think a lot of people are very sentimental about drugs in the 60s and the free love. I tend to think maybe they flooded the society with this type of thing to try to calm down the peace movement, maybe kind of mitigate it. And then when they were done, they turned on. It was the Stones concert, which was it turned from LSD and other allegedly mind experience and stuff to cocaine. And the war is over, and the 70s and 80s got pretty violent. I don't know. I've heard people say that they flooded the market with ecstasy before both the Gulf Wars to calm the population. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I think they are legalizing pot because there's no jobs, right? I don't know. Very interesting. Timothy Leary is very fascinating. Some people think he was tied to the CIA, and he had said some phrase, "I'm thankful for the CIA for synthesizing LSD." I don't know. How about Bill Hicks? Comic. Bill Hicks. You guys familiar? This is a good one to learn. Bill Hicks. Probably the best comedian there ever was. Social satirist. Oh, I didn't know he's a musician. He had a lot of anti-war stuff. Like Jimi Hendrix, he did better over in England than he did over here because we're stupid in America. Anybody familiar with Bill Hicks? The best. Yeah, he went over to London's West End. He was out of Austin, Texas. Kevin Booth. You know, he's sort of an influence on the libertarian, insane conspiracy guy, Alex Jones. Some crazy people think Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. I don't think so. That's absurd. Bill Hicks, yeah, he's a genius. Keith Richards outlived Jim Fixx, the runner. I think that Joe Rogan is influenced by Alex Jones. I enjoy the sentiment of him and all that, but I don't know. You know, he's seems like a satire. He was busted, or he went too far with the Sandy Hook, saying it was staged and fake, and he's been forced to publicly admit that he's nothing but an entertainer. People would think that somebody like me would be a huge fan of Alex. I don't know. I would like to be on his show to debate him. I certainly know that one of Joe Rogan's most popular shows was when he had Alex Jones on. So have me on, Alex, and we can debate. I think he's totally removed from the platform of YouTube a long time ago. And again, there is that thing where he says I'm an entertainer and I'm crazy because I think it's because of the Sandy Hook Newtown thing. Yeah. Crazy. But I think, he has a right to be on. Yeah. I would say, though, as adults in this society, we should be allowed to listen to what we want. And, I don't know about censorship and banning, Will this thing get shut off because I said that? In other words, people need to be, our society should be able to decide what's wrong and what's not. Just that there's a problem with things like this means that this society is not properly educated. If a certain amount of people are drawn to him, but we should all take everybody, investigate everybody, right? Yeah. To mess around with the First Amendment is a slippery slope. And we all have the right to change a channel. We all have a right to say somebody is wrong and shut it off. And I don't really see why there should be all the censorship. Yeah, warning. Yeah. They put warnings on these things when I fool around. I did one on chemtrails, and they got mad, and they put, it's actually a contrail. The guy gave my opinion. Yeah, you're right. I didn't really mind it. They put the thing underneath. I have ones on here when I have one on here when I do an artistic version of the Illuminati in a chateau in France, and right away they put the Encyclopedia Britannica. Or a guy just commented on one of mine. I do one on the P2 Lodge of Italy, and there was this banker that had some ties to this Freemason thing, and he also had ties to the Vatican Bank. His name was Roberto Calibi, and there's a book about him called God's Banker. And they found him hanging from the Blackfriars Bridge in London. Was it London? There's also, you'll find the more, this is just true, the more successful a person that you meet in like a country like England and the United States, it's without a doubt, they will be very, very against this sort of stuff. And so that's a point for people that are against engaging in investigating this type of topics. Okay. But you got to say that they're successful in the system. And that's that. Folks, I think I'm going to cut tonight's show a little bit short. I've got to do other duties. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's a call I was going to take. Maybe I'll be on a little longer. I'm sorry. I'm just going to wrap it up pretty soon here. This is good. I just intended to do an hour tonight, and I just got everybody together. But I'm feeling a little bit tired, so we're going to end up on that. But yeah, thank you for your question on Jones. He would be an outlaw in a sense, and his followers are. Maybe he should be banned from YouTube. Maybe he shouldn't. We ended up with Bill Hicks. I don't really think Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. I will continue tomorrow night. I hope you like this outlaw thing. I'm totally bummed that I didn't have a better definition for what an outlaw is. I hope this show wasn't too short tonight. Yeah. I've got to do some errands, though. Hope nobody's mad. Will we come back tomorrow night at 7? Why not? Let's do it. Okay. Hope I wasn't on too short tonight, you guys. Early Sunday. Yeah, probably got to get up to work tomorrow, too. Oh, and I've got 6 viewers. All right. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow night. Okay. Thanks, BB. Thanks, Elizabeth. Let's set up again, and I will always message you when if I'm not on as well. Okay. Everybody, take care. Yeah, leave us wanting more. That's what I'll do. This has been the Stash Prada channel. See you soon. Stash Prada signing off. Live long and prosper.